contrary to popular belief, Funfetti cake is not just sprinkles in your average vanilla cake. It is way more than that, and I have all these Funfetti secrets that I'm going to share with you today. Let's get started. So the first thing that we're gonna do is mix together our dry ingredients. We have all-purpose flour, which we're gonna mix with some cornstarch. We have some baking powder here and some kosher salt. And we're just gonna whisk these together, and then we'll set that aside while we beat up our wet ingredients. I have some softened, unsalted butter here. So I'm gonna get that going in here, and then we'll add the sugar in gradually. So I have my egg whites here, which have been separated from the yolks. This is clear imitation vanilla. We're not using the all-natural stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna have my mixer running while I stir that in. And then just a little bit of almond extract will kind of boost the flavor and give it just a little bit of oomph. And now, because we're not using egg yolks, which typically add a richness to cakes, we're gonna compensate by adding just a little bit of flavorless oil. Our batter is looking great, and now we're gonna add our dry ingredients, and we're gonna alternate that with some whole milk. So I'll start off with my dry ingredients, and then a little bit of milk, and then about 1/3 of the dry ingredients. We can add the rest of our milk at this point, and then we'll add the rest of our dry ingredients, and we want to be really careful not to overbeat it. Okay, it's important that when you're making Funfetti cake that you use artificially colored cylinders. You don't want to use anything that's naturally colored because the colors will kind of bake out in the oven. So I'm just going to sprinkle these in right on top of my batter, and then we'll gently fold this in. I'm just taking my big rubber spatula and I'm scraping around the side and then going in through the batter. We're gonna grab our cake pans, which have been greased and then lined on the bottom with parchment, and we'll just divide the batter up between these pans. So you'll just spread this around to get it evenly into the pan, and it doesn't have to be perfect because when it hits the heat, the cake will melt down a little. All right, so I'm gonna go stick these in the oven, and they'll bake for about 25 minutes, and then they'll cool completely, and then we'll get to my favorite part, which is decorating. So my cakes have cooled. They have these beautiful little flecks of color that are gonna be so great when we slice into them. I have a pink buttercream, and I always just put a dollop down on the cake board so that the first layer stays in place. And we're gonna spread a nice even layer of frosting onto the top of this first layer. All right, so our second layer is gonna go on, and we're just gonna center that really nicely with that first layer. And now this will get some frosting as well. So, like we did the second layer, we'll just put the third layer right on top. We're gonna get a thin layer of frosting onto this. So just like the other layers, I'm spreading this frosting across the top, and it's gonna go over the sides, and we'll smooth down the sides of this frosting. And if you find that you're getting a lot of crumbs in this initial crumb layer, you're not going to want to scrape your spatula off into your main bowl of frosting. So sometimes it's helpful to have an additional little bowl. Do we have an additional? Sorry. So this will be my crumb coat frosting bowl. Okay, so I'm just going to smooth this down with my other main cake frosting tool, which is a bench scraper. And what I'm going to do is with my left hand, I'm going to rotate the cake around as I'm using my right hand with the bench scraper to get this nice and smooth around the outside. And it's just going to lightly scrape off some of the frosting so that you have a smooth layer. And then to do the top edges, we'll just take our offset spatula, and I'm just going to swipe it across the corner so that these little edges that are poking right up get evened out. All right, so I'm just gonna pick this cake up and stick it in the freezer for a few minutes so that it firms up, and then we'll get to work on our next coat. Okay, I'm gonna finish this up with my second coat of frosting. So I'm just taking one little bit of frosting and then spreading it down in kind of a curving motion so that you get these nice swoops around the outside. Doing the same type of method of just doing little swoops with my spatula. We're just gonna make it rain sprinkles all over the top. Okay, so it's all finished. I'm gonna pretend like it's my birthday because I would like to eat a slice of this cake. So I'm gonna dig in. Let's check that out. Oh yeah, and so you can still see the sprinkles shining beautifully out from that cake. I'm so excited to eat this. Look at how fun that is. It's funfetti. I'm gonna dig in. It tastes like childhood. Okay, so you guys go make this, and I'm gonna keep eating my cake.